Hi, I'm Sheryl B with the Atlanta chapter of the American Sewing Guild. I was recently asked how I got the ideas for things that I'm making. And I've spent a little time thinking about it. I thought, there's several things that inspire me or places that I go for inspiration. And I thought, well, all right, I'll share my top 5. And what I hope is that you will share some of your sources of inspiration so I can learn from you as well. So I'll start with one. Magazines is one place, and Threads magazine has been a magazine I've taken for a very long time. I've tried techniques that have been presented in the magazine, tried different looks. It's been a great source of inspiration, and many people who sew are familiar with that magazine. A magazine that's new to me that I just recently received is the Makers Italie. It's out of the UK. It's a little more avant-garde, a little more edgy, a little more I don't want to say fashion forward, just a little more avant-garde. But I really liked just a different perspective. And I also really liked that in the center of the magazine, each issue is a pattern that you can try. This particular month, the pattern is a wrap top of this blouse right here. So I'm going to try making that. I think it'll be fun. Another source of inspiration for me is going to workshops and classes. And I actually think I am equally as inspired by workshops and classes that are outside of, say, the actual just sewing world as I am with those that are in the sewing world. I recently went to a class at the John C. Campbell Folk School in North Carolina. And I took a class on marbling. We marbled paper and we marbled fabric. And of course, I was really excited to marble a fabric. But here's an example of one of the scarves that I marbled. And I learned this technique of this pattern, as well as the technique to make this pattern. And I found that this has really inspired me to try some new things and new ways of embellishing and decorating fabrics and garments as I make them. A third place that I go for inspiration, honestly, is just the fabric itself. I recently went fabric shopping with an ASG member, and we bumped into this crazy fabric that I think is just amazing. And I'm not sure what to do with it. I have some ideas, but this big, giant, bold print on it. And it was very reminiscent of something I'd seen actually in that Makers Italie magazine. So I'm excited to try that. I even bought some paint. I'm thinking about putting some bright blue paint on it. But the inspiration came from seeing that fabric at the fabric store. I'm also very inspired by fabric when I start throwing fabric on top of fabric. I love the idea that color blocking gives me. And so this is an example of I was just stacking up some linen and these landed on each other. And I went, oh my goodness, look at those colors together. And so I've actually started working on an idea to put all those colors together. The fourth place I want to tell you about that I go to for inspiration is Instagram. And Instagram's not new. It's something that we all know about, but not everybody uses it as a source of inspiration. Some people use Pinterest. That's just not my thing. But I follow various hashtags on Instagram, and then I start to see all sorts of ideas that other people have made. The last place that I want to tell you that I get inspiration, and certainly not the least place, is at American Sewing Guild meetings. Every meeting has a program and every meeting has show and tell. And when I see the meetings and learn about a new technique, I'm inspired. But let me tell you, when I see what my fellow sew sisters have made and they're showing off things that they have tried, I get really, really inspired. So those are my top 5: magazines, workshops, fabric, Instagram, and show and tell and ASG meetings. What are your sources of inspiration? I hope that you will tell me in the comments. I would love to get a few more sources to have in my inspiration toolbox. Thanks for watching.